Hey guys, Christina here, and today I have a look for you what we read last month, which was March 2021. If you're new here, we have 5 children between the ages of 4 and 13, and we homeschool. So there's a lot of book reading going on in our home. So I'm going to start right away with our first read aloud, which was called Samir and Yonatan by Daniela Carmi. This is a story about a Palestinian boy who gets injured and goes to what he calls the Jewish hospital, and his experience in the children's ward there while he's waiting to have the surgery, and then it goes until shortly after he's had the surgery. It was a really interesting book. I'm not sure how to explain it. There were certain parts of it I felt were very valuable, kind of an insight into the lives of the people there and the fears and the contention and the beliefs they have and they hold against each other. But it was also very odd. There was some of it that just didn't quite make sense, almost a mystical kind of thing. My kids weren't big fans of it, and I understand why. I think a lot of it too is more kind of woven into the story, so there's more meaning for adults. So maybe older teens would be interested in it. There was some value to it though, but I'm not sure if I would read it again. Then we moved on to Neela Victory Song by Chicha Banjari Diva Karam. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This is a story about a girl in India right when India is trying to gain its independence from Britain. Her older sister has just been married and now they're looking for a husband for her. And the father's trying to figure out kind of what's going on with these freedom fighters, and he wants to know more. So he goes to a city to try and take part in a march and to sit in and find more information, and he ends up getting caught by the police. And so she goes to try and save her father. It was a really interesting read. It was a good read. We all enjoyed it, even my boys. It kind of showed the attitude of people, kind of what was going on at the time, the beliefs people held about each other, again, like the other book. It was just a good story about that time frame, as well as about girls and women in India at that time. So I highly recommend that book. Then the next one was this book here, Year of Impossible Goodbyes by Suk Noil Choi. Sorry, I'm not saying that right. So I'll read the back for you. It says, it is 1945 and the Japanese military has taken over Korea. Under the cruel occupation, 10-year-old Sukan's world was torn apart. Her father leaves to fight with the resistance movement in Manchuria, and her older brothers are sent away to labor camps. Her mother is forced to supervise a sock factory. Sukan herself must wear a uniform and attend a Japanese school. When the war finally ends, out come the colorful Korean silks and bags of white rice in celebration. But soon North Korea is taken over again, this time by the communist Russia. Sukan and her family know that their only hope of liberty lies in a dangerous escape to American-controlled South Korea. So this book is somewhat similar to the book we read a few months ago called When My Name Was Kieko, but this one continues on past the end of the Second World War and into that division of North and South Korea. And I really enjoyed this book. There were some parts that were maybe a little bit more mature, but I felt like it gave a good understanding of what happened to the people's lives who one day, out of no fault of their own, were suddenly in this country that perhaps they didn't want to be in. So this was definitely a good read. I'll show you the inside of it. So I would recommend this one. The next one that we read was this one, Journey to Joburg, a South African story by Beverly Naidu. It's a really short book. There's a couple little pictures in it. We actually read this book in one day. It's quite short. It says, Ma lives and works in Johannesburg, far from the village. 13-year-old Naladai and her younger brother Tyro call home. When their baby sister suddenly becomes sick, Naladai and Tiro know deep down that only one person can save her. Bravely alone, they set off on a journey to find Ma and bring her back. It isn't until they reach the city that they come to understand the dangers of their country and the painful struggle for freedom and dignity that is taking place all around them. It was a good read. Again, real quick, I felt like it was very, very simple. So definitely for more younger children. It didn't talk a whole lot about apartheid or the separation of people, but it had little bits here and there, and some attitudes as well were kind of surprising to read. So it says it's for 9 to 12-year-olds. I'd say maybe, yeah, that's probably right. A very simple book. Then we moved on to this book, Through the Wall. This is by Alida Sims Malkus, and this is a level 9 with the Good and the Beautiful library. I'll show you a look inside. There's a few little pictures in here too. Somewhere. There's one. Really simple pictures. So I'll read the back for you. It says, when 12-year-old Hansai's father is arrested, his world is turned upside down. Why was his father taken away? Hansai discovers a past he didn't know his family had, and soon after he embarks on an adventure he never could have imagined. A daring trek to cross the Great Wall that divides East from West Berlin. With the help of a small dog and some other friends he makes along the way, Hansai comes to realize the things he's been taught in post-World War II East Berlin may not provide a best way to live life after all. Overall, this was a good book. I think my kids gave it kind of 3 to 4 stars out of 5. The only thing I'd say about this is it doesn't focus a whole lot on actual life in Berlin and the wall. It quickly moves on. They go to America and some things happen there. So I felt like it could have given more information in the beginning of the book, but then at the same time it kind of doubles back or circles back for maybe an adult or an older child to understand the effects of what communism and the beliefs this child had, how it affects him for his life continuing on. So in that way it was good. I think it was a good book. It's one of the few ones I found about that's written for children about crossing the Berlin Wall, so I would recommend it. I think it was good. So then for audiobooks this month, we're actually still listening to one. It's called The Body Under the Piano. So I'll talk about it next month once we've finished it. So then moving on to my kids. So my 13-year-old, I had him read Homeless Bird. This is by Gloria Whelan, and it's about a girl in India. And again, just kind of the traditions and what life is like for girls. I read this book and I really, really liked it, which is why I wanted him to read it. He said that it was okay. It wasn't really his style of book, so meh. But I really liked that book. And then he also read The Hiding Place by Corrie ten Boom. Again, because I wanted him to just read a little bit more about the war since he's a little older. He also read this book here, George Mueller, The Guardian of Bristol's Orphans. This is part of the Christian Hero series, and this is a level 8 on the Good and the Beautiful reading levels. He liked that one. And then he read, and actually all my boys read, Nelson Mandela. It was a comic book by the Nelson Mandela Foundation, and just talking about Nelson Mandela's life and apartheid. And then he also read, along with my other boys, it was a graphic novel called The Korean War. So then, moving on to my 11-year-old. So he also read some of those same books, and then we have here The Titan's Curse by Rick Riordan. I never know how to say that name. All my kids really like his books, all my boys, so he read that one. He also read a different Christian Heroes one. He read the David Livingstone one, and he said that that was really good. Then this one more. He read Jacqueline of the Carrier Pigeons. This is by Augusta Huell Seaman. This is a level 9 from The Good and the Beautiful. That's what it looks like inside. And so he read that one as well. And then my 10-year-old, he read Farley Mowat's Owls in the Family. This is a fun book. So he read that one. He also read Catching Fire. This is a second book in the Hunger Games series. He's been enjoying this book. That's what it looks like in there, in that series. He read a bunch of Dogman books. And then he said he also read Trials of Apollo #1. And then all my kids read lots of comic books, Pokemon, lots of other ones too. And that brings me to my 7-year-old. She read Eagle Feather by Clyde Robert Bula. This is a level 3, Good and the Beautiful. So she liked that one. And then she also read this one, Happy Little Family by Rebecca Codgill. This is a level 4 in the Good and the Beautiful library. And so those are the 2 main books that she read this month. But again, she likes other ones too, comics, some easier ones, as well as early readers, Sophie Mouse, that kind of thing. So then that brings me to me. So I only read one book this month, which was Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. And I really enjoyed the book. I really liked the style of writing. I felt like it was the kind of writing where you just want to keep reading, which I really enjoy. It's a story about a woman in Ireland who, during the flu epidemic at the end of World War I, is working in a hospital in the maternity fever ward. And it's about her experiences there. If you really like learning about pregnancy, labor, delivery, then like I do, I really enjoy reading that. It was really interesting to read. If you don't like reading about those things going wrong or having problems, it might not be the right book for you. There was one thing at the end of the book that I was like, oh, why did the author put that in? I felt like it was just not needed, but read the book for yourself and you can tell me what you think of it. But yeah, let me know any of these books, what you have read, what you thought of them, and also what you're reading right now, because I really love getting suggestions. Otherwise, I hope this finds you having a great day. Take care.